I don't fight. So, welcome to Orange Alert. We're going to talk about Halloween shopping today, which is everybody's favorite topic, right?
Woo!
Yes! Awesome. I love it. My name is Miranda Enzor, and I run a year-round Halloween blog over at spookylittlehalloween.com. Just give you a quick overview of what we're going to chat about today. I'm going to give you a little peek of what's in stores this year from a couple of my favorite places. I'm betting a lot of it you've probably already seen because literally every store put their stuff out in the past 2 weeks and kind of stole some of my thunder in this presentation, which is fine. So we're also going to talk a little bit about some of the trends that I'm seeing for 2019. We're going to talk, of course, about when you can find all this stuff in your favorite stores. And I have some slides with a little cheat sheet and stuff, and I actually have a download for you guys on that too. And then I'll give you some of my favorite shopping tips and tricks, and we'll have a little time at the end for Q&A. So if you have questions, jot them down on your phone or whatever, and we'll do all that. So this URL up here is my Midsummer Scream landing page for you guys. It has a download of this presentation, and then it also has it's a PDF download of when everything typically arrives in stores. And that's something that I give out to my people who subscribe to my email list, but I got a lot more specific with you guys, mid-August, a little bit more specific with the dates, so you guys are special. You get the real info. So, and I have that through all the slides and stuff too. So feel free to take a picture of any of the screens as we go along. So just to tell you a little bit more about myself, my name's Miranda. I'm a year-round Halloween blogger. My site's called Spooky Little Halloween, as in have yourself a spooky little Halloween. And I'm from Houston, and this is totally me up here. Yay, Texas friends! Texas forever. So, and I figured you can see me in person. You already know what I look like right now. So this is me when I was 2 years old, and my first ever Halloween costume. My mom made that. Is that crazy?
Wow.
And my dad's next to me looking like the brownie paper towel guy, which I don't think was intentional. But yeah, so I do Halloween all year long. I blog about it all year long and kind of try to make it seasonal so that, us spooky kids can celebrate our favorite time of the year all year long. Killer Halloween party planner. I love Halloween parties. That's totally my jam, so that's a lot of what I blog about. I'm a pumpkin guts lover. I always like telling people that. That was my favorite part of Halloween growing up, was carving pumpkins and that squish. I don't know. That's Halloween to me. And I know I'm probably weird for that, but that's fine. But above all else, I'm really just a Halloween lover like all of you. Stuff comes into stores and I get super excited to see, the black and the orange hitting the shelves. So what I'm doing up here is no different from what you guys are. I'm out there with y'all, so I don't want you to feel like, I love it just as much as you, and I'm out there shopping just like you guys are. So I'm excited that I can kind of take some of my knowledge that I've pieced together over the years and share it with you guys. All right. So before I jump into my presentation, I want to give a huge shout out to this lovely ghoul up here, Sarah, who runs thespookyvegan.com, because this was originally her presentation that she asked me to join her on. And she had some different life circumstances pop up. She ended up moving out of Southern California this past week, but we'll be back at Midsummer Scream next year. But just the way her schedule worked out, she couldn't be here today. So I want to make sure to give her huge props because this was really her kind of brainchild that started, and I just sort of came in and took it over for her. And she is an awesome Halloween hunter too. So if you're looking for stuff in stores, things that she's finding, please, please, please go follow Sarah if you haven't already. All right. So let's get to the good stuff, right? Is my volume okay for you guys in the back? Okay, I feel a little echoey in here. Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. So I'm going to show you a couple of things from some of my favorite stores at home. I know this is one that you guys didn't have in California until this past year, I think, so I'm excited. I know there's not a ton of them still, but this is a really big one in Texas because they're based out of Texas. But I always really enjoy their stuff because they have such a diversity in it. This dragon thing that they're doing, the eye pumpkins and this never trust the living thing, I find the dragon trend real interesting this year. I don't know if you guys been seeing that too, kind of all over in stores and stuff.
Slowly.
Yeah. I don't know, it's one of the trends that I've been seeing this year. I find it really interesting. But at home is kind of one of my favorite just for a little bit of everything, honestly. And they always have really great price points too. Home Depot is actually one of my favorites. Do you guys ever go there for Halloween stuff? Yes, okay, I love the nod. It's not a place that I frequent. I'm not a very handy kind of person. So when I popped in there last year, I was just like, oh my God, what is this wonderland? This is amazing. So if you've never done that, Home Depot and actually Lowe's too, they're really awesome. Because I think of them for outdoor stuff, but as you can see, I pulled a couple what I think are sneak peeks from their collection this year. Don't hold me to all these, because one or two might have been from 2018. It was a little hard to discern. So it's we're in that weird in-between time where everybody's just adding all their stuff. onto their websites. But they have some cool, more just like home decor, like that decanter bottle, which I think is really cool, the Nevermore, and that little witch house on the end too. So just, if you've never popped in there, that's a really fun one to go check out. Of course, Michael's. Has everybody been to Michael's already?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the beginning one, and then Target is like the end one. Like those are our bookends, right? For Halloween shopping. So of course, you guys, I'm sure you've seen this blasted all over Instagram because all of us have just gone insane with it. So, but they have, I mean, it's just, yeah. I love the vintage vibe this year. It's very cool. They always have really nice stuff. All right. Spirit Halloween, of course. I tried to pull a couple of things that I believe are new for this year. I know that Sam animatronic is. So one of my friends actually won that from Spirit Halloween in Canada, and it looked really cool in her video that she posted. And then, of course, the Sanderson sisters, the Funko Pops. I don't know if those are exclusive to them. Does anybody know if they are exclusive? Okay, I couldn't remember. And then that dragon, of course, and I love Ouija stuff, so I had to throw that up there. And then I'm freaking obsessed with these stupid Scoops of Boy costumes. And I love seeing so many of them. P.S. I love the 11 romper. That's awesome. But yeah, I know that's one of their new things that they have this year, obviously, and there's a couple other places where you can find those. Just a little peek at some of the new stuff I knew that was coming to Spirit Halloween. We'll talk about them a little bit more later. And then, of course, Target, our favorite. You guys have all seen these too, right? From the Halloween boutique, yeah. So I'm loving the English Garden stuff up in the top corner. So much fun, like so much cool stuff that you could buy and put out in the spring, right? That's where my brain went. So, and I like to Target when we get into trends. I think that's my next slide after this. But a lot of this stuff, like this tombstone down here, they have a lot of neon colors in their things this year, which I think is a little bit different. And I know that's kind of a trend in retail right now. So yeah, just a little sneak peek of some of the stuff that's coming to Target for you. Yeah, and then trends that I'm seeing for this year. So lots of dragons and kind of like Game of Thrones stuff. I mean, I guess it makes sense with the series ending. I'll confess, nobody hate me. I haven't seen any of it. Never read any of the books. But I think it's kind of fun if that's your jam. The skeleton yoga poses, I'm seeing those come back kind of across everybody's collections this year. Are you guys into those or? Okay. I keep looking at them and I'm like, I can't decide if they keep bringing those back because they sell so well or because nobody's buying them.
It's just leftovers.
Leftovers, yeah. Well, that goes down to the end one with the repeats. We'll get to that in a second. So the message pumpkins, I see those across a lot of different things. And I think as I'm like throwing these out, you'll probably start seeing these trends as you go shopping this year. But I kind of like that messaging stuff. Like, I know I have you back here, I think you have my Halloween shopping bag and t-shirt and stuff like I do, yeah. So like kind of those message things where you're kind of showing off a little bit of your personality, that's a really big trend just in retail in general, kind of as is the neon stuff. That's a really big thing right now. So it's cool to kind of see that filter into Halloween, and you kind of, with the message things, you can kind of have that thing that like gives you ownership over, whatever. I have the Harry Potter ripoff up here. I saw them, you swear I'm up to no good. That's at Home Goods. Lanterns is one of the things I've kind of been noticing across a lot of collections this year too. And maybe it's just because I'm hyper focused on those. I bought a ton of those probably like 7 or 8 years ago. And it seems like those have kind of come back. I like those for, party decor, honestly. And they're cool to put candles in and give a little ambiance and stuff. And then, of course, I didn't get a picture on here, but fortune telling, that's been like a huge thing with palmistry and like all that sort of stuff. It seems like a lot of people are incorporating that into their collection. And I kind of like that stuff because that's something I keep out all year long in my apartment. So, and then of course I'm seeing repeats this year, and I feel like it's a good thing and a bad thing. I don't know how you guys feel about that. But it's kind of nice because then if you miss something the previous year and you're like, oh darn, I really want to grab that gives you the chance to get it. But then it's kind of like, okay, I've already seen this. Like, show me something new, right? Yeah. So, all right. So those are just a couple of the trends that I've been noticing this year. So this is the big question that you guys want answered, right? The when. When is everything coming to stores? Which is wonderful because that's why we're all here. So if you want to, you can grab a photo of this slide so you have the URL to take with you, because all these dates and everything that I'm going to show you are available there too. Because I know sometimes we're going so fast with these things that it's hard to keep up. So feel free to grab a photo of this and then check out that landing page. I literally just uploaded this presentation to us this morning, so that's like the most up-to-date version of it. So, all right. Keep 1 or 2 more cameras up. There's some other goodies on there too for you guys. A couple links to blog posts that I'll kind of mention, and some of my favorite Halloween hunters and a couple other things. We'll get to those in a minute. I want to spoil some of my surprises. So, all right. So you guys probably know a lot of this if you follow people on Instagram, but this is kind of the quick list of where Halloween already is. And I wanted to include dates just so that you guys have those for next year. So if there's a specific store you're really like wanting to pay attention to, you kind of have a ballpark of when their stuff came out this year. Honestly, that's kind of how I started putting together my list, is just paying attention and kind of thinking, okay, like around the 4th of July, you know, these retailers put out their stuff, or, you know, in mid-June, these people are putting out their stuff. So AC Moore, which I think is, we looked that up the other night, I think that's exclusively East Coast. At Home, which is fairly national presence, Bath & Body Works, Big Lots has put out their stuff recently, Cracker Barrel, Homer, Home Goods, which I know is another favorite for a lot of us. I was really surprised at how early stuff popped up at Home Goods this year. Has anybody been there yet to check it out? No?
They have some stuff.
That is your homework. Everybody go to your Home Goods and check it out. So Brandon Road, which is an online retailer, they're a little bit on the pricey side, but it's always kind of fun to window shop with them, I think. Joanne put up their Halloween fabric at the end of June, and it seemed like this past week, I think Chelsea, you were finding stuff there, yeah. They're just finally putting some of their decor into their stores in the past week or so. Kohl's, Marshalls, seems like they put their stuff out in the past week. Michael's, you guys have Steinmart here? You familiar with that one? Yeah. Okay, it's kind of along the lines of like a Marshalls or something where it's resale shop. Lots of homeware, home goods kind of stuff. They're always a fun one to check out. And then of course Tuesday morning you TJ Maxx. So, all right. So moving into August, which is where we are right now. These are kind of my key stores that I'm keeping tabs on right now. So looking at Home Goods, Joanne, Kirkland's, Pier 1's, or Midsummer. Are you guys familiar with all these stores? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have a couple photos from last year up there. Anything in particular that you're like hunting for in any of these stores?
At Home Goods, those $40 cabinets, like the wishes through. I've been calling every Home Goods and they're like, no, they sold out the first week.
Those cabinets are really cool. I bought a witch's brew one, I think 2 or 3 years ago. It was like my impulse buy. I was like, I hope I have this. It's so cool. So that's kind of the key with Home Goods too, is you really have to keep an eye on it, especially if there's something that you want, and like go there early on, because it's kind of like once they get it, that's like one and done sort of a thing. So that's a good tip for shopping at Home Goods. I really like Kirkland's. They had really cool stuff last year. My photos aren't from Kirkland's up here at the moment, but they have really cool home decor, and they do really great coupons if you kind of watch, sign up for their emails and watch those. You can get stuff. I think the best one that I saw was 30% off for Kirkland's. So those are the stores to watch in August. And then we moved in to mid-August. These are some of the stores that I keep my eyes on. So 99 cents only store. I really like looking at the dollar store kind of places for party supplies. So I don't know if you guys, does anybody throw a Halloween party? Yeah. Yeah. But I like looking at the dollar stores, the 99 cents only, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, Dollar General, all that kind of stuff. Especially if I'm going to do a DIY for a party, it's kind of a better place to start, and then you're not, spending an arm and a leg trying to put together something custom for a party. So 99 cents only stored early August. Bullseye's Playground, which is the name of the dollar section at Target. I think it was like mid-August when they started putting their stuff out last year. So that was like those cool, the little neon, the ghost and the pumpkin that were like everybody's holy grail, right? I still don't know how I got all three. It's crazy. But yeah, so mid-August is when that came out last year. So that's, probably in the next week or so. You'll want to keep an eye on that part of Target to see, how we start creeping into that area. Do you guys, Burlington, are you familiar with that? We used to be Burlington Coat Factory. Yeah. That's one that's I always forget about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should go check there. But that's one of my favorite places to go look for more like home decor kind of stuff. They always have kind of cool throw pillows and throw blankets and that sort of stuff. So Burlington's usually mid-August or so. Of course, Crate and Barrel, then I have Pottery Barn on this list too, and actually Sur La Table. Those are a little bit more the high-end sort of stores, but they have some really cool stuff. And I know Crate and Barrel, if you kind of watch their emails too, sign up for those and keep tabs on their sales, you can get some pretty decent sales on their different items. I don't know if anybody will remember it, because it's probably 5 years old at this point, but they had this really cool, it was a glass cauldron that hangs on a stand, and it was like, I don't know, over $100, and I think I got it for like 80 or 90 with a coupon. So yeah, if you kind of play that coupon game with Crate and Barrel, you can get some cool stuff for not nearly as much, which I like. Of course, Dollar Tree in mid-August, Party City, and actually we'll talk a little bit more about Party City in my slide about specifically kind of the Halloween pop-up stores. But I know I've been getting tons of ads on Instagram of like their preview of what's coming into Party City this year. And then of course Pottery Barn, Ross, and Sur La Table. Does anybody shop at Sur La Table for? Okay, a couple hands, yeah. So they're kind of more like a high-end, if you're not familiar, a high-end kitchenware store. And I know they do a lot of cooking classes in Houston where I'm from. But that's kind of a neat one too. It's a little bit, they have kind of a little bit of a different vibe, a little bit more like a classy Halloween, I feel like. Is that fair to say? Yeah. So I don't know, if you haven't popped in there before, you can do that. And I know Sarah, the Spooky Vegan, she definitely has their 2019 collection available on her blog. She posted something about that if you want to check it out. All right, so then we get into late August. Keep watching at Target because there seems like they kind of trickle stuff in at Target through kind of mid to late August. Of course, Home Depot, which you mentioned earlier, and Lowe's. Those are kind of two that I'm watching for specifically this year in late August. Keep watching Party City because it seems like their stuff kind of trickles in a little bit too. I threw Trader Joe's on this list. Does anybody shop at Trader Joe's for Halloween stuff? Yeah. That was a really fun one last year. That was kind of unexpected for me. So they do a lot of seasonal like food offerings. I have the candy corn popcorn up here, which is kind of fun. And that's one where you kind of want to keep an eye on it and get in there early because stuff goes off those shelves really quickly and they don't always get it all restocked. Or don't get more shipments in. It's kind of another one where it's one and done. So that's why I wanted to include them in my list. They had some really cool stuff last year. Of course, World Market. They always have really cool kind of a vintage vibe, I feel like, to their Halloween decor. And they've had a lot of really neat Nightmare Before Christmas stuff in the last couple of years as well. So, and then is anybody like anxiously waiting Yankee Candle? No? Okay. I threw it up there because I feel like there's this like cult following for the Boney Bunch and all that kind of stuff. I've kind of gravitated more towards the Etsy sellers for Halloween candles in the last couple of years. So, but I do know that their release date for all their stuff is at the end of August 24th. So, all right. So after August, obviously we get into September, and that's kind of the Holy Grail. That's when Target shows up. I'm going to butcher this name because I always do. Somebody correct me. Daiso, is that how you say it?
Yep.
We don't have one in Houston, but there's one up in Dallas. I do, no way.
You do pay
Are you kidding me? Oh my
on
God.
Mason.
Hi, best
Call me.
friend. I did not know they opened one up.
Yes,
Awesome.
and we're getting another one too.
I was totally planning a road trip to Dallas this year. I'm not even joking. Okay, cool. So if you aren't, is anybody not familiar with this store?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, people who know, but it's kind of like a Japanese dollar store, and I think everything is $1.50, is that right?
Yeah, it gives and takes. Kind of like the 99-cent store. How some things are a little more expensive, but yeah, but it's really nothing ever costs more than $5 there.
More than
So
$5. Okay, that's cool.
typically,
From photos that I've seen from other people who have access to that store, everything is always super cute. So if you're into cutesy Halloween, kind of like I am, that's a cool one to check out. And is it, I mean, I know one of my friends actually when I was in Dallas last week, and she was spotting a couple little things. Is September fair to say, or did it come out earlier than that, for those who are a little bit more familiar? It felt like September when I was seeing stuff last year on people's.
I don't think they were open for it last year.
Okay. Yeah.
it's like an afterthought for me. So it's already like end of September when I go in.
And after that, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of, yeah. World Market is always like that because mine takes forever to put stuff out. And then it's like, October, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should go there. So, okay, homework again for everybody. Go check out Daiso. That was a cool one. Of course, if you like Hobby Lobby stuff, they're usually in September in my area, sometimes a little bit earlier. Target, I kind of ballpark that around September 10th. It seems like it might be a little bit earlier or a little bit later, but of course they're always waiting for all the back to school stuff to kind of, get sold out in the seasonal section in the back corner before they start bringing in Halloween. So September, I'd say like honestly 5th to 10th is kind of my target date for another wonderful pun, Target. But that's kind of my date range that I start looking there for stuff. And then the same thing with Walmart, if that's your jam. I find cute stuff there from time to time. So So I always enjoy popping in and looking at their stuff. But obviously they're waiting for back to school to kind of end, and kind of that September 5th to 10th time frame is usually when you see stuff as well. So, okay, we'll talk a little bit about the Halloween pop-up stores. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with all of these, but the first one that's up here, Halloween City, is the subsidiary of Party City. So they do a couple. They seem like they're kind of following spirit where they do the pop-up stores now, but they also list like their actual brick and mortar stores, like a traditional Party City store as a Halloween City, sometime on the store locator. But if you go to any of these URLs on this page, that'll take you directly to the store locator, and you can find one near you. I did see a Halloween City just down the street here in Long Beach, so I know you guys have them out here in California. I didn't see a date for that one when we walked by the other day, but I kind of ballpark it at like late August, early September is probably when those open. Halloween Express is another one. We have those. Are you guys familiar with Halloween Express at all? Okay, cool. I know that we have them in Houston, but I didn't know how like prevalent and national they are. And I know the last time I was in one, it's been a few years, but it was mostly costumes, not a ton of decor kind of stuff. But just, we can always use a little bit more Halloween, right? Fun place to pop into. So those usually open in September. And again, this URL will take you to their store locator page. And then, of course, our favorite one that's up here, Spirit Halloween. I know that they just did an update on their website this past week, so the stores.spirithalloween.com, where they started listing the dates that stores are going to open. So if you didn't know that about this page, if you just kind of start haunting it a little bit and putting in your zip code, it'll usually give you like a ballpark of like, early August, late September, when a store is going to open. And kind of the closer you get to it, the better they are about putting up an actual date for it. So if you're real anxious to get into a Spirit Halloween, definitely keep an eye on that page and keep checking back for your store. And I know too, they kind of start with very short store hours early on, and then it extends the further or the closer we get to Halloween as well. So and then just a reminder, all of that information is available at that URL at the bottom of these pages, spookylittleHalloween.com/Midsummer Scream. You can grab all that kind of stuff. So those are kind of all the big box stores that we all typically shop at every year. But I want to encourage you guys to, we can shop all year long with all these amazing independent sellers. Everybody that's down there on the floor right now, like there's so many amazing creators down there. I put together a little quick list of some of my favorites that are up here just to share with you guys. And this Instagram list are all linked on that landing page for you. So if you just want to pop over there and click on one, you can find any of these. But just to share a couple of my favorites with you. Darling Wool, she does a lot of really cool graphic stuff. She just released some Halloween coffee tables that are really neat. But this girl does like everything. She has car mats that she's done. So if you need Halloween in your car, like she has some really cool prints for that. She does purses. It kind of runs the gamut with her graphics. So she's a cool one to check out. Erie Wicks is one of my favorite candle ones. She put out a 5-candle Halloween collection last year, and I am still like burning all of those and obsessed with them. I've bought multiples of my favorite scents, so she's a cool one. Odd Like Us was actually the maker of this lovely bag, because that's a product placement. I don't get paid for that though. But Lana makes some really cool bags and t-shirts and just little Halloween goodies that I love. Strange Coven is one of my new favorites. She's doing some really neat pumpkin bags. I know we're all obsessed with all the different pumpkin purses. And hers have a little bit more of a vintage take on them, which is really cool. I want to give a shout out to my Houston Ghouls over here at Thorn and Moon. They're more on the witchy wear sort of side, so if you need like sage or crystals or all that kind of stuff, they're really cool to shop to check out. Vandal's Folk Art, she does some really amazing vintage-y looking pumpkin pails that are super, super cool. She's a fun one to check out. And then Verona Black, my friend Danielle, she does some really cool accessory kind of stuff, so purses and jewelry and all that girly kind of stuff, some enamel pins. So do you guys have any favorite Etsy sellers or like people that you've checked out before? Shout them out. I want to hear some of your favorites.
Well, Lady Moon Company.
Lady Moon Co?
Yeah, they're really good if you want that more witchy stuff.
Okay.
They just released like a whole like practical magic collection.
Okay, so Lady Moon Co, witchy stuff, they just did a practical magic collection. Very
So
cool.
she's on the show floor.
Okay, yeah, they're here actually.
Yeah.
That's one that I haven't checked out yet that I need to get my butt down to. So, anybody else?
Chicken Lips.
Chicken Lips, yes. David is amazing. Are you guys familiar with him? David, he does these really cool sculptures, these really beautiful Halloween sculptures. But yeah, Chicken Lips, definitely check him out down there. So, any other favorites that you've seen this weekend, or? Yeah, okay. So then, of course, if you're looking for kind of that sort of stuff, maybe you want to get into, away from the box stores a little bit and more into the independent sellers. These are some of my hashtags that I search on Instagram. And again, these are all linked on that landing page, the spookylittlehalloween.com/midsummer-scream. Click on them, go right into Instagram and search. But Halloween shopping are two really useful ones. Halloween plus whatever item you might be looking for. This is actually one of my favorite ways to find new people to feature on my blog. And just kind of dream up, so like, Halloween plus like car, and find, Halloween car things, because that's so unexpected, right? Or like Halloween bath products, or, Halloween shoes. Has everybody seen Strange Cult this weekend and those pumpkin flats that he has, that Ryan has? Those are really cool. If you haven't checked those out, you need to. Those are actually on my Instagram too. I got to see those the other day, and it was really cool. So Halloween art and artists are two great ones to search if you're looking for new people. Halloween decor, that one's a little bit more broad, but you can find some cool things in there. And then vintage Halloween too, or just kind of whatever your style of Halloween is. If you're more into the cute or the gothic, or whatever, that's a really easy way to find new people to shop with. All right, so I've thrown a lot of information at you, right? And you're like, oh my God, how am I going to keep up all this? That's a lot. So this is how you and I are going to become best friends. So I do a lot of this on my own, just because, like I said, I'm a Halloween lover like you guys. I enjoy searching for all these things as well. So I do Halloween hunting on my blog. I actually just started this past Friday. And every Friday I'm looking at the big box stores and kind of showing some of my favorite things that I'm finding, so that you guys can go grab them as well, because I know I totally shop off of other people's Instagrams, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, I gotta go find that. So if you're interested, spookylittlehalloween.com every Friday. I'm doing those posts right now. I just did a double post with Michael's this past weekend, or past Friday, so you can keep up with stuff that way. And then I have my own favorite Halloween hunters, so of course I'm out there looking for stuff to share with you guys, because it's fun, right? So, but these are some of my favorite people that I follow. So my friend Mike at All Hallows Geek, he's awesome about documenting like everything that he sees. He's very journalistic in the way that he approaches it. So he's a great one to follow if you're looking for stuff in stores. And he lives here in California, and I swear y'all get stuff here in California like a week before we do in Texas. Like it starts on the West Coast and it's slowly drops. So Mike's a really great one if you're looking for early stuff. My friend Ashley at Halloween Herbivore, she has been so on top of it this year with sharing stuff, which has been really awesome. So she's a great one to follow. Venus, who actually is local here to Long Beach, she's really great about posting stuff too. So Halloween XO is her Instagram. Holly over at Holly Jelly Jack Lantern, I swear that girl does not sleep. Like she's really on top of stuff, and it's like, it's just, she blasts it all out, and I'm like, I didn't even think to look at that place yet. How did you find all this? So she's a really great one to follow too. Of course, one of my friends that's in Houston, Laura, the Halloween collector, she is awesome at posting stuff too. I know she and I we work like half a mile away from each other. We're always going out on our lunch breaks and trying to find stuff in the stores near us and everything. And then of course, Sarah at the Spooky Vegan, she's really fantastic about finding stuff and sharing it on her blog. So if you want a little bit more in-depth look at things, she's a great one to check out as well. Do you guys have any favorite Halloween hunters that you follow on Instagram? Anybody who posts a lot of that kind of stuff?
You.
Yeah.
that was not pandering. All right. What was that one?
Monster tutorials.
Monster tutorials.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay. Follow that one. Thank you. Monster tutorials. Okay. All right. So now that you know the what and the when, it's like how am I going to afford all this, right? So let's talk a little bit about Halloween shopping tips and tricks. So this is kind of my quick list of how I go about approaching the Halloween shopping season. So I am one of those crazy people. I actually set a budget for myself when I go out shopping, and I know that's hard sometimes because you see so much and you're like, oh my God, I just want it all. But I kind of do it more by, I usually have like one day where Laura and I will go out and just like hit all the stores in a single day. So I'll usually set a dollar amount for myself, and once I hit that, that's it, I'm cut off, no more Halloween is allowed. And then some of these other tips kind of factor into how much I'm able to find and afford and that sort of stuff. So I try not to impulse buy anything more than $5. That's just me, because otherwise I'll buy everything. And I feel like that's kind of a good rule, and a lot of these are just kind of good tips to keep in the back of your mind. I've been sharing this blog post I did, I think like 2 years ago now. That's like the 7 questions that I ask myself before I buy Halloween stuff, and I just kind of threw it up one day because I was like, this crossed my mind. It's kind of fun. Maybe somebody will find it useful. And I've been amazed at how many people are like, oh my god, I never thought about that. Like, thank you. Kind of changed how I'm looking at Halloween shopping, or keeping me from impulse buying things. So that's this $5 rule. I feel like is kind of good for that. I definitely shop around, which to me is kind of part of the fun. I like seeing everything before I actually start buying everything, because you'll start to find kind of duplicates of very similar things. And it's like the freaking worst when you go in one place and you buy something because you're like, oh my god, I love this. And then you go into the next place and you're like, oh wait, I love this one better, right? So I always shop around before I ever actually purchase anything. I love using coupons. I'm a coupon fiend, and I actually have another slide that I'll show you kind of my tips for my best apps for doing couponing. But signing up for your email list, downloading apps, all that kind of stuff, that's a really great way to kind of keep tabs on everybody's sale. And I know like Michaels and Joanne are really good about, typically after like the first couple weeks, they'll put their stuff like 30% off, and then it slowly climbs up from there. But I just kind of always keep tabs on that sort of stuff. So I'm kind of making sure I'm getting like the best deal on things. I never buy more than I can store. If my mom was in this room, she would be laughing so hard at that one. But I do think about that, especially with the bulkier things, because I know that's kind of like one of the hard things is these inflatables. I mean, I guess those kind of pack down into a box and stuff. But even like those cabinets we were talking about a little while ago, they're really cute. I have one, but it's so bulky, it's really hard to store, and I didn't think about that before I bought it. So that's always a consideration for me, and just maybe throwing that out might spark a thought for you guys this year, especially with some of I'm thinking like those giant pumpkins. I have my eye on some of those at home right now, but I'm like, where am I going to store these? I'm not trying to load up this new storage unit that I just got because I lost my free storage at my parents' house because they moved. Of course, I shop dollar stores first so that I can, if I'm looking for something for a DIY, I can get it a little bit cheaper at those stores, and then if it falls apart, it's okay. It was just from the dollar store. It's not like I spent a ton of money at Michael's trying to make a DIY or something. I saved my spare change. This was kind of my fun, silly one that I added to this list. But this is something I've done for a really long time, and I actually used to spend that spare change on concert tickets, and now it all goes towards Halloween. Kate will laugh at that. She's my concert buddy back there. She's like, fine, trade me in. It's fine. So just a little thought, if you use cash for anything ever, just take that spare change and throw it in a little mason jar or a coffee cup or something, and then just save it up for Halloween, and you're probably going to have 20, 30, 50, depending on how much, maybe more, bucks, and you can go spend it on Halloween. And it's just magically safe there. I don't know. I always think that's fun. And then, of course, it's not all doom and gloom, and, you should go out there and have some fun and buy stuff that you like, too. So I always let myself kind of splurge on, one, maybe 2 things. Try not to go crazy on, all the $100 items that are out there. So, useful, helpful, interesting?
Yes.
All
Cool.
I'll give it
Awesome. All right. So, chat a little bit about some of my apps that I like to download and keep on my phone or on my internet browser for Halloween shopping. You guys are familiar with Honey at all? Yeah. So it's a Chrome browser extension, and you can add it, and it'll automatically search for coupon codes for you. So if you shop online at all, and I know some of these stores it's a little bit harder to shop online than it is in person. It's better to shop in person than it is online. But Honey is a really useful one for looking for coupon codes online if you're doing that. I have Retail Me Not up here too, and that's a website and an app. And you can do the same thing, but then you have to manually do the work. But that's a good one to use as well. But the other 3 that I have up here are all the store apps. So Joanne and Michaels I like keeping on my phone because the coupons are right there. I never have to worry about digging through my email to try and find it on my phone or something. It's all just right there. And Joanne actually accepts, I think maybe Michaels does too. I feel like I've been seeing that. Yes, I've been seeing that. But Joanne and Michaels both accept competitor coupons, so if somebody else is having a better sale, and I think they even accept AC Moore, some of the other stores you might not have in your area. So if you find a better coupon, you can take those into those 2 stores and get the bigger discount. And then the Target app, I like keeping the, I have the Target app on my phone all the time because I love playing the cartwheel game when I go in their store. But that's it's fun to play the cartwheel game during Halloween season too. Because they'll do kind of like one-day sales on various things, and they won't really like announce it publicly. So it's almost like during Halloween season, if you're paying attention to that app, you can get some really good deals on things. For example, I know it's usually, I think it's a Tuesday usually, in like mid to late September, they usually do a one-day sale on Halloween candy. And you can get, I want to say it's like a 2-for-1 deal or like 40% off or something. So that's usually how I buy Halloween candy for my party. But that'd be great for trick-or-treaters as well. Save a little bit of money, make it go a little bit further. So, do you guys have any favorite store apps you keep on your phones for this kind of stuff? All right. I forgot that was my next slide, so I guess I'm at the end. Yeah, that was all right. We probably have like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes for questions. So you guys got any Halloween shopping questions? Any? Jerry, go for it.
So Home Goods, TJ Maxx, where are they getting all this Halloween stuff?
So that was one of the things Sarah and I really, did you guys hear his question? Where places like Home Goods, TJ Maxx, all that, where they're getting their Halloween stuff from? That was one of the questions Sarah and I really wanted to dig into with this. And we did try reaching out. We didn't get very far, unfortunately. But we did want to learn a little bit more about kind of the shopping process and, where they're, how they're deciding what to carry in stores and that sort of stuff. So I'm hopeful that maybe she and I can come back and do that next year, dig a little bit deeper into that kind of stuff. I know that there is, you may have seen some of the ads in the Grand Ballroom if you've been in there for anything, but what is it called now? The Halloween Party Expo, I think, that takes place in New Orleans. It's usually in like mid-January, but I know that's like a Halloween industry event, and lots of retailers go to that, kind of where they're talking about the trends and stuff that are coming for this, this next year, and looking at costumes, I think a little bit more specifically. I see some of that on Instagram. But I think that's probably a really big source. It's just kind of that conversation. So hopefully I can bring more on that to you next year. So, any other Halloween shopping questions back here?
Not exactly shopping, but I'm looking to get storage tips. Because I feel like that's really the limitation of my shopping, even more than budget, is space. So where do you put your stuff? Do you have any ideas?
That's a great one. I have blog posts for that. I can add. I don't remember if I added it to this page, but I will for you guys. Might be later today, but yeah, no, that's a huge one for me too, because I live in a little 800 square foot apartment that was built I think it was finished in 1910. So I don't have a whole lot of like closet storage. It's just, open rooms. So a lot of my stuff, I do pay for a storage unit now, but a lot of stuff goes into just like those big Rubbermaid bins. And I kind of organize it based on the type of stuff that it is. So like all my party supplies are in one. All my apartment decor stuff that I'm actually going to bring to my place and decorate with, that's all kind of organized in a box. And I try to pack those, like you'd pack if you were moving or something, where it's, a couple heavier things on the bottom and then kind of layer it up with some lighter things. And I do try to kind of repurpose some of my softer stuff as kind of packing. Basically, so like I'm crazy about hand towels. I love Halloween hand towels. It's kind of like one of my weaknesses that I shop for. But I'll use those kind of to wrap up some of the more delicate stuff. So I don't know if that's kind of helpful. Or even like that spooky fabric. I like that a lot in my apartment too with my decorating. So I'll use that and kind of wrap it around some of my more delicate things. And then going back to the bigger stuff is just kind of thinking through where you're going to store it. Do you have a box for it? Can you stick it in an attic, in a closet? That sort of stuff. The bigger items, I feel like if you can kind of tuck them away, maybe like on a shelf or just like in the corner of a closet or something, that's probably a best bet, just to make sure that they don't get damaged, they're out of the way, sort of. Helpful, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have something like specific in mind that you're trying to store? Or like?
There's always the things that are kind of big or bold.
Yeah.
Like if you make or buy foodstuffs or something that you can't put in a box.
Yeah.
Big.
I will say I've kind of gotten lucky. Our IT department always has really like weird sized boxes. So work is kind of one of my sources for that sort of stuff. So I have a bunch of those, like the foam tombstones that I've kind of picked up over the years. But that's, I don't know, at work, if you start looking for boxes, if you get that kind of stuff, that might be a easy way, or just kind of put the word out, or neighbors, family or something. If you have some crazy weird sized boxes, let me know. I might be interested.
Sometimes when you buy something from Amazon, it comes in a weird box.
And sometimes when you buy it from Amazon, you bought like one little book and it's like in this giant box.
Yeah.
What is this stuff? Okay. So, yeah.
I just want to throw out another store that we have around here that is kind of good. Found out this from Five Below.
I like it.
And they have like, I have a little, it's a bobblehead for like each on the dashboard of your car.
Oh, cool.
They have like a skeleton, like pumpkins. They just have like cute little stuff.
They do, yeah. We've just recently got. Are you guys familiar with Five Below?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a toy storage thing, right? I feel like so. I think that might be part of why I don't pop in there terribly often. And there's not one super close to me, but yeah, they usually have some cute little Halloween things. That's a great one. That's not on my list. Thank you. Any other stores that you guys want to throw out that are on my list?
I was just remembering, I don't know if I saw Big Lots. Do you
Yeah.
guys have Big Lots?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have Halloween stuff out, and I think some people have posted some pictures. They might have things out right now, or they'll be
Yeah.
coming at the end of August and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
Big
they're
Lots.
good
Do you guys shop at Big Lots for Halloween stuff? That's kind of one that I was like, I didn't really think about that, but yeah, they. If you like animatronics, but you're looking for something a little bit more price friendly, they're definitely one to check out. That's not my jam, and I feel like the price point kind of shows in some of the quality of their stuff with the animatronics. But I also understand like not all of us want to go to Spirit and spend $500 on a big giant animatronic thing. But yeah, Big Lots is a fun one to check out. So
AC Moore.
yeah.
Do we have one in Texas anywhere?
So AC Moore, we were talking about this Friday night at dinner because I asked that question because I didn't know. We looked up their map and it does look like they're exclusively East Coast, and there was like one or two kind of in the Midwest. But AC Moore is kind of another like a Michaels or a Joanne. And I want to say they've recently been bought out by somebody else too. I thought I saw a headline on that, but don't hold me to that. But it's kind of typically what you'd see at those craft kind of stores. So just kind of general cute decor.
Lindsay, the frugal crafter's always talking about it, and I'm like, she
Yeah.
always has great price things for doing DIYs, and I'm like, where is one?
Yep. We have to travel. We'll go on an adventure every time. Any other shopping? Any other shopping questions, or just Halloween questions, or go for it.
Heads up, I weirdly noticed a couple years ago that you mentioned Pottery Barn on your slide.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Pottery Barn releases their Halloween stuff way earlier than regular Pottery Barn, like a month earlier. So they already have Halloween. Pottery Barn Kids is already up.
Yeah.
Even though they don't put the adult Halloween stuff later, but a lot of the stuff that should be like in the more street side.
Yeah.
Or if you have kids, for some reason it comes up later.
That's a great one too. I think it was last year they put out some really cute Halloween sheets, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need these. And of course, none of them come in a queen, so they're all like kid size, like a twin. I think a full was the biggest that I could find, or the queen. Actually, I take that back. I think the queen and the king were like, in my opinion, ridiculously expensive for what they were. So, but yeah, they have Pottery Barn Kids. That's a great one. If you guys have not looked there, they have some really cool, kind of more cutesy, stuff. Yeah, go for it.
So Grandin Road, if you shop there, one season I think they have a like 20 to 30% discount plus free shipping.
Oh,
And it's only one time a season, and they don't
Okay.
advertise it.
okay. Did you guys hear that? Grandin Road, if you're interested in any of their stuff, they do like a one-time sale of 20 to 30% off with free shipping. That's a good tip.
Yeah, it's only one time.
And it's
You have
only
to
one.
get on a newsletter.
Yeah, you sign up for the newsletter.
Yeah, so the idea is they have an email list, and then they have a catalog too. It's
Yeah,
called
they have a
Halloween
catalog.
Haven that they
Yeah.
put out. And it feels like my name falls off it every year. I don't know why, and I have to request a new one. But yeah, that's a great tip. Anybody else have a tip that they want to share? Because I'm definitely not the be all end all on this
I've
topic.
seen a lot more Halloween stuff at grocery stores, like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Grocery stores are a great one too. I didn't include any because I feel like they're all so localized, and like we have Kroger in the Houston area, but I know like here I think Ralph's is owned by the same chain, and other places is it State? I don't know. There's so many different names for them. But yeah, grocery. If you haven't shopped at a grocery store for Halloween, actually Kroger had really cool
and then they
stuff
go
last
on
year.
sale a lot too because they're just trying to move.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the grocery stores put their stuff on sale real fast because they're trying to clear it all out to get ready for that other holiday that comes after Halloween. We don't talk about the C word. I think, did I have a hand back here?
Like if you're into candles, Attenborough candles are amazing. It's the Halloween one.
Yeah.
Those smell amazing.
They're always super sweet, and I don't like super sweet stuff, so I'm like, people kind of dig me on that every once in a while, and they're like, how come you don't talk about this? How come you don't talk about that? I'm like, it's not my jam, sorry. So, yeah, back there.
It makes sense for I shop for thrift stores because they put all their old like vintage decorations out and they're all really cheap and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
That's an excellent tip, especially if potentially there's something that you were looking for at a store in previous years and maybe you didn't find it. I mean, it's totally going to be like a treasure hunt, like hit and miss, whether you find it obviously in like a thrift store or Goodwill or something like that. But those are really fun places, and they do typically hold that kind of stuff and start putting it out a little bit closer to Halloween, so you'll find more like right now and going into the fall than you would like, you know, in May or something. So yeah, that's an awesome tip. So yeah.
Piggybacking off of that, yesterday on the way here, by where I live, there's always like yard sales. And so my boyfriend, she picked up like a plastic mold, like a really vintage plastic mold. It's a white girl's holding on like a pumpkin. But it's like, you can tell it's just so cool. We got it for $4. And it's big, it's good.
Yard sales are a great one too, and that's definitely where you're going to find the hidden treasures, like, you know, potentially people who don't know what they have and they're selling it for super cheap. So I mean, I just watched my parents do that with some stuff, and my mom had this huge collection of tins. We're on Halloween for a second, but my mom had this huge collection of tins, and this lady was like, "This is only 25 cents. Do you know how much you could sell this on eBay for?" And I'm like, "Whatever, just take it. Like, we just don't want it." But yeah, yard sales are a great place, especially for those older, like the blow molds. If you guys are into that, collecting those at all, that's a great place to look for those. So yeah.
Another great place if you got animals of any kind, pet stores, because they'll even like get stuff that actually can kind of be repurposed if you don't have animals as decor in some parts.
So Chelsea was saying pet stores is a great place too. So I personally don't have any pets, so I don't tend to share a whole lot from those. But yeah, and she was saying that you could, you know, buy stuff there, repurpose it.
Even like their fish stuff.
Fish stuff.
They get a lot of like decor for the tanks for Halloween.
Yeah.
But you can use it for other things.
Oh.
Yeah, you've got a lot in my village.
Yeah.
In your villages, yeah. I was gonna say like a little terrarium would be really cool with that too. I love it. Yeah.
And then I was gonna ask, I know we're talking about buying for Halloween, but then like after Halloween, like the next year, do you recommend to buy, is everything like is it within, is it like the time frame or like the day after?
Oh man, I would say that it seems like the week leading up to Halloween is kind of like, I'm thinking of Michael's and Joann's specifically. I know their stuff goes like 60 to 70% off fairly quickly after like, I'd say like October 15th, 20th, somewhere in there. So if there's stuff that you're looking for and you want to grab it at like a really steep discount, like you're kind of playing with fire there a little bit, like they might not have it. But I would say like mid to late October, like 15th to 20th is probably when you want to start looking for those kind of sales. And then, I mean, if there is something very specific that you want, I would say like maybe a couple days before and after Halloween. Everybody does their discounts so differently, and some of them it takes forever to get up to like what I feel like is a really decent price to consider, you know, what I want to buy. I'm thinking of At Home. They took a really, like, I was seeing stuff at the end of December and maybe even the beginning of January last year, and it was still only 75% only 75% off. But I was like, it should be 90 by now. Nobody but me wants this. Come on, At Home, get it together. So, but yeah, I think the sooner you can shop for that, that's a great question. It's something I did not even think to include in this. But the sooner you can shop for that and just kind of haunt around for it. I usually try and go the weekend after Halloween, just because there's usually not a ton that I'm dying for, but it's kind of fun to see what I can find at a steep discount.
That one day, I think, with pop-ups.
Pop-ups?
Yeah, if you even got that. The pop-up store.
To shop after.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, pop-up stores. Yeah, it kind of varies too. Like I'm thinking of Spirit and some of ours. I know it's usually like, I think Halloween or the day after they'll do a really steep discount.
And that's it.
And that's like it. I know like one or two of ours, I feel like maybe they went like a little bit past that last year, but yeah.
And they were already gone.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely with those pop-up stores, like that's one where you kind of have to be like on it and like maybe take that day off of work. We all. Yeah.
Speaking of after Halloween, I never think to go to Walgreens, but Walgreens like the week after, I don't know, their stuff is normally more expensive.
But we have some awesome deals, like 90% off the week after Halloween. Last year I got like the full-size skeleton for like $5.
Nice.
And I would have bought more. But they have really good deals after Halloween. Beforehand, not so much, but afterwards they want to figure it all out right away.
Yeah, for the C word, you know. That's excellent tip. Yeah.
Hi, Miranda. I'm Daniel. I love your blog.
Thank you.
So I kind of have a weird question. I don't even know if it's a possible thing to do. I have like 2 containers of costumes that I would like to sell to make money off of. Do you know like any shops that would accept old used costumes or?
So I know there's a handful of, that's a great question. I know there's a handful of nonprofits out there that
Okay.
accept them. So if you end up going that route, that's a great one. And they'll, donate them to kids who don't have costumes, and that way they can go trick or treat.
That's nice.
I know I don't live in that world a ton, but there's apps like Depop. I don't know if you guys know some of the other ones. There's several out there. But that's kind of a route to go. You might even just, do a little Instagram or something.
Okay.
And pop up just an Instagram for that. I know Sarah from the Spooky Vegan just did that kind of in her move. She was trying to unload some of their Halloween stuff, and that went fairly well for her. And just kind of playing the hashtag game
Okay.
on Instagram, and just kind of being
I just
smart.
started the hashtag game
Yeah.
like a couple of
Welcome.
Thanks.
It's a fun and scary world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Instagram might be
Okay.
a good spot for you. There's a really good Halloween community on Instagram, I feel like,
Yeah.
so that's kind of easy to find people that way.
Nice. Thank you.
So, all right. Well, I know y'all have other places to be, so I don't want to keep you. But if anybody has questions, we can hang out for a couple more minutes. But also, there's other cool shit to do. So, I was going to tell you guys too. Thank you for hanging out with me today, because I know there's a lot of really cool stuff. Like if I wasn't here, I would have been at that Tales from the Crypt. So I was a little disappointed I had to miss that. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. So.
Thank you.